New footage has surfaced that changes everything we thought we knew about MO3's murder. The truth behind why he stopped his car in traffic, why he ran, and who was walking calmly behind him with a gun. This wasn't random, this was calculated. And the connections to Yella Beezy, the mystery woman he visited right before, let's break it down. New footage of MO3's death. The internet lit up again. A new video dropped. It showed the final moments of MO3's life. This time, not just a clip, it was courtroom footage. Clearer, longer, more painful. People had heard stories, but now they were watching it play out, frame by frame. Mo3 was on I-35 when it went down. Traffic was normal. Cars were moving. Then suddenly, he stops. Middle of the highway. That's the part that confused everybody. He didn't pull over. He stopped in his lane. Then he jumps out. No hesitation. Starts running. Not a calm run. This was panic. He's weaving between cars, trying to get away. Then you see the man chasing him. He's holding a gun. He doesn't even run fast. He just walks up, steady, then fires. Mo3 falls, right there on the freeway, shot in the back. People are still arguing about why he stopped the car. Nobody really knows, but there's been a lot of talk. Some say a bullet hit his tire. Others think he just froze after hearing shots. One post went viral, said it straight up. They said dude was already shooting at him, and the killers had multiple cars on the highway that day. Somebody even said they shot Mo3 tire out. The whole thing didn't feel random, too smooth, too perfect, like somebody planned this. They knew where he was. They had people waiting, and it wasn't just one shooter. Then Twitter did what it always does. Loud takes, no filter. Bro made it seem like traffic was at a standstill when they caught Mo3. He easily could have got away from them, man. He died trying to live like this movie. The reactions kept coming. Some cold, some straight up disrespectful. That Mo3 really died like a clown SMH. No survival instinct, but even the haters couldn't ignore what the video showed. Mo3 was targeted. He was running for his life. No backup, no way out. And the way he died, it wasn't random. It looked like someone made sure he wouldn't walk away from that highway. That new footage hit different. It pulled people back into everything that led to Mo3's death. And once you go back, it's hard to ignore what was already going on. Months before the shooting. Back in September 2020, Mo3 was reportedly caught up in a shootout right outside a Houston strip club called V-Live Bar Lounge. It was around 3:30 in the morning. Detective Angel Graff told ABC 13 that the moment Mo3 pulled up, people started letting off shots. 2 people got hit. That was the official report. But the streets had a different version. Houston Crip FDA went on High Thoughts TV and said something way more serious. He killed 2 people in Houston, yeah, at Via Live. They tried to kill him at Via Live. That changed everything. Because if that's true, this wasn't just random beef. That means somebody had real motive, real problems, real payback. Then on May 18th, 2021, Say Cheese dropped something that had the internet buzzing all over again. An interview with Charleston White. This came right after video footage surfaced showing Mo3 reaching under his glove box for a gun.
We had a stash spot in his car where he keep his pistol. And he couldn't get to it. And as y'all saw in the video, homie, he went out to try to go get it, got out the car and tried to go get it. He just didn't have time.
White didn't hold back. He pointed out what he believed was Mo3's biggest mistake, keeping the gun hidden instead of having it within reach. According to him, that split-second decision cost Mo3 his life. Still, despite the criticism, White showed respect. He acknowledged that Mo3 didn't fold under pressure and said he went out like a real G. Then White switched gears, made it personal, like he was speaking from his own playbook.
When you the nigga doing all the shooting and you hardly getting shot at, you lax. But you ain't gonna never catch mine in a stash spot, and I'm out on 3 bombs. Yeah, I'm out on 3 bombs, homie. I ain't gonna, mine gonna be in the lap.
The interviewer brought up something that was floating around online. Some people were saying Mo3 should have just stayed in the car, not run, not make himself a target. Charleston White had no patience for that talk.
Man, fuck them people. They ain't now motherfuckers ever died. They don't know what the fuck to do before they die. Man, motherfucker, that's just like us sitting back telling Tom Brady what he should have done on 4th and 2, nigga, in the Super Bowl. Scrap business, huh? Sitting back coaching a nigga's death what he was supposed to do. Man, him. That's them people playing video games.
There's a lot of noise around what happened that day. Some say jealousy played a part. Dallas News reported that Devin Brown, who was already locked up before suspect Q and White was even arrested, told police Mo3 had been dating a known witness. He was upset about a Facebook video that involved Mo3, but when it came to the shooting, Devin said he wasn't involved. That's what he told police. Whether that's true or not, one thing's clear. This wasn't over nothing. This wasn't just rap beef. Everything already felt messy. But then came the theory about the woman, and that took things to a whole new level. The moment Mo3 left that woman's house, something felt off. He drove to a gas station. Minutes later, he was being hunted. TMZ confirmed it. According to at TMZ_TV, Mo3 was desperately trying to get away from his alleged killers moments before he was fatally shot on a Dallas freeway. Shot in the back of the head, in traffic, cars everywhere. Whoever did it wanted people to see. This wasn't random. This was someone who waited, watched, then moved in. The woman he visited, never named, never questioned publicly. But fans didn't let it slide. Online posts started linking her to Beezy's circle, no proof. The talk about the mystery woman didn't just stop at rumors. It blew up. Reddit threads, YouTube comments, tweets. Everybody had something to say. And it wasn't just wild guessing. Some of the comments had details that felt a little too close to the truth. One user summed it up without sugarcoating anything. He trusted a op baby mama, the dude who killed him with Trap and Yella. This comment lined up with what people were already thinking, that maybe the woman wasn't just some random girl. Maybe she was the bait. Maybe she was tied to his enemies. Another user came in with a question that a lot of people were asking. I see, so was it MO3 in his BM that got MO3 killed? Or was the BM just used as a proxy to get at MO3? That's the thing. Nobody could say for sure. But then more replies came in, and they started connecting everything. Mo3 had problems in Houston. He had beef in Dallas. He was out here making enemies everywhere, and he was still laughing about it online. One reply really broke it down. Mo3 was out here doing shit that led to him being killed from the Yella shooting and the Fort Worth shooting. They blamed him, and a lot more. MO3 was a problem FR. That part stuck. Mo3 was trolling days before he got gunned down, posting, laughing, acting like nothing could touch him, and people noticed. Then the same user doubled down on the theory. It was over for the baby daddy, the other was because that was Yella and Trap Op, so it was kind of both. The social media was just adding fuel to the fire. It wasn't just about a girl. It wasn't just about rap beef. It was both. Personal stuff mixed with online ego, and it made everything worse. Another comment put it plain. Plenty people wanted Mo3 out the way for different reasons. It just so happened a dude hated on Mo3 for his BM, so he put some bread on Mo3. So when Mo3 died, it wasn't some random guy trying to make a name. It was layers, old beef, new beef, personal grudges, and that one girl, she might have been the trigger that set it off. All the talk about the woman and the setup had people connecting the dots, but not everything was just online theories. Some of it started showing up in courtrooms, arrests and indictments in the case. Just a few months after Mo3 was killed, Devin Brown ended up pleading guilty to some serious federal charges. Not for the murder though. These were gun and drug charges. He got hit for possession of a firearm as a convicted felon and conspiracy to distribute a controlled substance. But that was just the start. Brown's rap sheet in Dallas County was already stacked. He had more charges waiting. Manufacture or delivery of a controlled substance, money laundering, another gun charge, all tied to being a felon with a weapon. As for Q and White, the man seen chasing Mo3 with the gun, he got indicted for aggravated assault tied to the same November 2020 shooting. But it didn't stop there either. Court records showed he had more charges in Dallas County: evading arrest, theft, unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. Then Denton County came in with their own aggravated assault case. So yeah, these weren't random guys. These were people already deep in the system, already moving reckless. Then came the big headline. Dallas police arrest second Mo3 murder suspect in April 24th, 2021. People were watching this story like a movie by then. But to Mo3's people, this wasn't just some true crime headline. Mo3 was only 28 years old. He was signed to Boozy Badass's label, Badass Music Syndicate. Right after Mo3 died, Boozy flew into Dallas to attend his vigil. While he was there, somebody shot him in the leg. Yeah, you read that right. Mo3's mentor shows up to honor him and ends up getting shot too. But when Boozy spoke about it later on Vlad TV, he kept it real in his own way. Said he wasn't even mad enough to go after whoever did it. He just saw it as part of the game. Boozy said, "I was taught to be no rat at 4 years old, 3 years old. A lot of built in people from a youngster. So when they get pressure like that, they break like that." He continued, "All these rats coming out and shit, they need to make a whole CD and name that cheddar cheese." He went on to insult them more. "All these rats and all this paperwork, they need to make a CD and call it rat poison." That quote alone told you what kind of rules Boozy lives by. He wasn't playing the victim. He wasn't pointing fingers. He was just saying it loud. Street life has its own rules, and people either stand on it or they fold. While Boozy was talking about street codes on Vlad TV, the legal system was moving fast behind the scenes. On March 18th, 2025, 5 years after Mo3 was murdered, Yella Beezy was indicted by a Dallas County grand jury. The charge? Capital murder while remuneration. That means they're saying Beezy paid someone to kill Mo3. Straight up, no guessing, no maybe. Prosecutors believe it was a hit job, set up, planned, and they're pointing the finger straight at him. Now let's talk about that bond. His original bond was set at $2 million. That's not light money. At the hearing, Beezy's team argued he couldn't afford it. Then his family stepped up. One voice stood out, his grandmother, Alma Jean Alexander. She didn't show up quiet either. In court, she said,
"He might used to be, but if he could make a $2 million bond, he'd be out."
She was calm, firm, like someone who knew her grandson better than anyone. When they asked if Beezy was holding back on purpose, she didn't hesitate.
"I'm aware of all of those things, but I know he don't want to be in here, so I know if he could afford it, he'd be out."
That moment said a lot, but prosecutors weren't having it. They brought the paperwork, not guesses, bank records. They said Beasley had cash, a lot of it. They pulled up his 2020 statements, showed he had almost $870,000 in his checking and savings. Then they brought up the car, a bulletproof Denali, not something your average broke rapper drives around in. Then came the part that turned heads. He made a $40,000 withdrawal just days after MO3 got murdered.
These records would correspond to the exact amount which the state's witness would testify to.
That's what prosecutor Tommy Adams told the court, and he wasn't done. He said there's a witness who will take the stand and say Beasley was part of the deal, that Beasley helped pay for the hit, but Beasley's lawyers didn't sit quiet. They came swinging. Said there was no real proof, no texts, no DMs, no screenshots, just a person saying they overheard something. You've heard no information of a text message, any communication on a social media platform, that our client paid for this murder, any kind of remuneration, just this individual who stepped forward and stated he overheard this conversation, the defense said. Even with all that noise, the judge still gave Beasley a break. Judge Gracie Lewis agreed to drop the bond down to $750,000, but she didn't do it with a smile. She made it known that Beasley didn't take the paperwork seriously. She called him out right there in court. The financial report that the defendant was required to file, he didn't seem to take that very seriously at all. And that's what I'm worried about, whether or not he's taking seriously charges against him, Judge Lewis said. Then she gave him a warning, and she didn't sugarcoat anything.
That you are to have no contact, direct or indirect, no threatening or harassment of any victim, witness, co-defendant. If it's you or anybody on your behalf, there's going to be a problem. Do you understand that?
So Beasley walked out on bond, but the weight of that murder charge wasn't going anywhere. People were talking, and then an old clip started making rounds again. It was from an interview with Adam 22. The timing couldn't have been worse. In the video, Adam brings up MO3's death, and just like that, Beasley starts to squirm a little. His answer? It didn't help him at all.
Nah, I ain't never had no tension with nobody.
Right.
That was it.
That wasn't smooth. He looked unsure. Sounded like he was trying to play it safe, but Adam pushed again, trying to get a straight answer. Beasley stuck to his script.
I'm serious. I don't have a problem with people.
Right.
He ain't had no problem with me.
He kept denying any issues. No beef, no tension, just confusion. But at that point, nobody was really buying it. Then the internet did what it always does. It started digging. A tweet went viral right after that clip resurfaced, and it said exactly what people were thinking. The wildest part about Yella Beezy and Mo3's beef is that they actually started out as friends. Whole careers and lives lost over a senseless beef. This is exactly why artists can never get ahead. Still stuck in the streets, this shit is sad. That hit different because it was true. Before the drama, before the music turned deadly, before the freeway scene. These were two artists from the same city, same grind, same come up. But Mo3's death isn't the only time the world watched a rapper's final moments unfold on camera. Rappers whose deaths were captured on camera. Years before Mo3's murder, another young rapper lost his life in broad daylight. And this time, the cameras caught everything. It happened on June 18th, 2018. XXXTentacion was only 20 years old. That day, he went to Riva Motorsports in Deerfield Beach, Florida with his uncle. He was just looking at bikes. No bodyguards, no drama, nothing out of the ordinary. As he was leaving in his BMW, a black SUV pulled up and blocked his car. Two masked men got out. One pointed a gun. There was a brief struggle. Then they shot him multiple times and took off with a Louis Vuitton bag that had $50,000 in cash. The whole thing was recorded on the dealership security cameras. 4 men were arrested and charged with the killing. Dedrick Devonshea Williams was the first to get picked up 2 days later. He was the one driving the SUV and blocking X from leaving. Michael Boatwright was arrested during a drug raid and later charged with being the shooter. Trayvon Newsom was the second gunman. He eventually turned himself in. Robert Allen didn't pull the trigger, but he was there. Surveillance cameras caught him inside the dealership before the shooting. In 2022, he took a plea deal. He admitted to second-degree murder and agreed to testify against the others. Their trial began in February 2023. The jury was shown everything: video, phone records, bank statements, and witness testimony. By March, all three, Boatwright, Newsom, and Williams, were found guilty of first-degree murder and armed robbery. On April 6, 2023, they were sentenced to life in prison with no parole. Another case, just as shocking, played out in the middle of a restaurant. This time, it was PNB Rock. It happened on September 12, 2022. PNB Rock, whose real name was Rakeem Hashim Allen, was at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in South Los Angeles. He was sitting in a booth with his girlfriend. They were just there to eat. Nothing flashy, nothing loud, but someone was already watching. A masked man walked into the restaurant. He went straight to their table. He pulled out a gun. People in the room froze. It all happened fast. He pointed the weapon and demanded jewelry. Then there was a struggle, and that's when shots were fired.
The suspect then brandished a firearm and demanded his property. We don't have the
audio as to what the exact verbal exchange was at that time. The suspect then fired multiple rounds and then appears to remove some property.
PNB Rock was hit multiple times right there inside the restaurant. The shooter grabbed his jewelry and ran out. Paramedics got there quick, but it was too late. He was pronounced dead not long after. Surveillance cameras caught everything. The moment they walked in, the moment the man pulled the gun, the robbery, the shooting, the escape. There was no guessing. No, he said, she said. The whole thing was on tape. The investigation didn't take long. Freddie Lee Trone was arrested and later convicted of murder, conspiracy to commit robbery, and 2 counts of second-degree robbery. In September 2024, he was sentenced to over 31 years to life in prison. But here's the part that made it even worse. Prosecutors said Trone had sent his own 17-year-old son to carry out the robbery. He waited outside while his son walked in and pulled the trigger. That teenager, whose name wasn't released because of his age, is still waiting for trial. He's facing murder charges too. Another man, Tremont Jones, was also found guilty. He got 12 years in prison for 2 counts of second-degree robbery and 1 count of conspiracy to commit robbery. Then there was Chantal Trone, Freddie's wife. She pleaded no contest to being an accessory after the fact. Her sentencing was set for January 2024. This wasn't a random hit. This wasn't a gang war. This was a setup for jewelry, a robbery that ended in murder over chains and clout. The footage not only confirmed what happened, it shut down all the fake stories and online noise. No conspiracy, no industry sacrifice. Just another rapper gunned down while doing something as simple as eating lunch. PNB Rock's murder shook a lot of people, but he wasn't the last. Not even close. Just 2 years later, another rapper was gunned down. And this one happened while he was celebrating his birthday, Julio Fulio. Real name, Charles Jones II. He had just turned 26. On June 23, 2024, he was in Tampa, Florida, trying to celebrate with his people. They had started the night at an Airbnb, but that got shut down after they went over the guest limit. So they packed up and moved to a Home 2 Suites hotel. That's where everything went wrong. In the early morning hours, Fulio was in the hotel parking lot. That's when it happened. Cameras outside the hotel caught it all. 3 masked shooters pulled up. One had a pistol. The other 2 had rifles. No warning, no words, just bullets. They opened fire fast. Fulio was killed on the spot. 3 others got hit but survived. The video showed how quick it went down. Less than a minute. Then the shooters ran off. Police moved fast on this one. 4 people were arrested in Jacksonville. Alicia Andrews, 21. Isaiah Chance Jr., 21. Sean Gathright, 18. Rashad Murphy, 30. Then later, the 5th suspect, Davion Murphy, 27, was found after being on the run for over 6 months. All of them were tied to gangs. Cops said it was a targeted hit. Payback. Fulio's name wasn't just local, he had a real voice in the Jacksonville rap scene. His song When I See You got major attention. It wasn't polished or radio ready, but it was raw, honest. People felt it. He mixed rap with melody, and it hit different when you heard his pain in the bars. This wasn't just rap beef. This was part of the bigger war between ATK and KTA. The same beef that had Jacksonville on fire for years. Bodies dropped. Diss tracks flew. And Fulio was one of the loudest voices on the KTA side. Youngeen Ace was the face of ATK, and their rivalry wasn't for show. It was real, and it was deadly. But his career never had peace. Fulio was always surrounded by drama. He had a public beef with Youngeen Ace. Real street tension, not just music. That beef stayed loud online and in real life. Diss tracks, shootings, back and forth threats. It followed him everywhere. Even when he was making music, people were focused more on who he was dissing than what he was saying. And that's what made it so hard to separate the art from the war. Fulio's death was another reminder that being a rapper, especially one with real street ties, is one of the most dangerous jobs out there. One moment you're dropping a track. The next, you're trending for the worst reason. All these stories expose one harsh reality. Hip-hop isn't just music anymore. It's become a battleground where beefs don't stay in songs and real-life consequences hit harder than any diss track. MO3 on the freeway, X-Tentation outside a bike shop, PNB Rock inside a restaurant, Fulio in a hotel parking lot. These weren't just random killings. They were calculated, cold, and caught on camera. Now that new footage of MO3's death is going viral, the internet isn't just watching, it's investigating, digging through old posts, reviving old theories, and connecting dots that were always there. Because that video didn't just capture his final moments, it pulled the curtain back on a culture where street politics, jealousy, and retaliation move faster than the fame. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, check out the suggested content on your screen by clicking one of the cards displayed.